Every August, NFL analysts convince themselves they have the league figured out. We rely on the belief that spreadsheets, injury histories, and statistical models can accurately map out 17 weeks of professional football. We entered the 2025 season anchored to a few specific certainties. At the top of that list was the undisputed king of the league, Patrick Mahomes, safely locking down the AFC. We also trusted the job security of highly tenured coaches. Men like John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin were considered permanent fixtures on their respective sidelines. And on special teams, Justin Tucker's 66-yard field goal record was treated as the outer edge of human leg strength. Every single one of those expectations shattered. Predicting a 14-win Sam Darnold, a Patriot Super Bowl run, or a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, returning from retirement, would have made you the only expert who actually knew ball. The 2025 season acted as a 17-week stress test that every single model failed.
To understand why we were so wrong, we have to look at the specific points where the logic of a league simply broke. The chaos started right before Week 1, with a baffling front office decision in Dallas. Jerry Jones decided to trade his star pass rusher, Micah Parsons, to the Green Bay Packers. This chart shows the Cowboys' projected defensive efficiency. But immediately after the trade, Parsons tore his ACL in Green Bay. Without him, the Dallas defense plummeted under Matt Eberflus. They finished dead last in points allowed, cementing an immediate disaster for both sides. The collapse reached all the way to Arrowhead, where the league's most stable dynasty completely fell apart. The Chiefs suffered a specific chain of disasters. First, Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL. Then, Gardner Minshew threw an interception. They bottomed out at 6 wins, missing the playoffs for the first time and landing a top 10 draft pick. The panic quickly spread across the league. By the end of the year, 9 head coaches were fired, and 10 in total walked away from their jobs. The sudden collapse of these stable, veteran pillars created a massive vacuum of power. That void set the stage for some of the most bizarre individual performances in history. As elite franchises fell, cast-offs rose to take their place. Over in Seattle, Sam Darnold became a 14-win juggernaut, matching Tom Brady as the only quarterback to win 14 games with 2 different teams consecutively. Down in Los Angeles, 37-year-old Matthew Stafford defied every established aging model by throwing for 46 touchdowns. 14 of those touchdowns went to a 33-year-old Davante Adams. Together, they played completely outside the historical expectations for their age. Then there was the unprecedented interdivisional trade, sending a 40-year-old Joe Flacco from the Browns to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Skeptical, Mike Tomlin watched this interdivisional trade for a 40-year-old quarterback and famously remarked that the game was getting too dumb. He stepped away from the organization shortly after. The veteran resurgences reached a final point of absurdity when 44-year-old Phillip Rivers came out of retirement to try and salvage the Indianapolis Colts season. This new hierarchy rose from the chaos of veteran performance, moving entirely outside the bounds of statistical projections and front office logic. Even the physical boundaries of the sport gave way. Jacksonville's 22-year-old kicker Cam Little moved the yardage markers of what was possible, breaking the record with a 68-yard kick. Over in Cleveland, Myles Garrett bypassed all expected regression to post a 23-sack season, claiming the all-time single-season record. Entire organizations skipped the traditional rebuilding process. The New England Patriots went 14-free and made a Super Bowl run in year 1 of a total roster teardown. Meanwhile, the old guard of quarterbacks found themselves replaced by a sophomore class led by Caleb Williams. Even in the collegiate pipeline, unknown names like Fernando Mendoza usurped legacy prospects for the top draft spot. Football remains a volatile, chaotic ecosystem that cannot be solved by better data or more complex models. We watch this game to be surprised. The most valuable skill an NFL fan can have isn't knowing ball. It's the ability to revel in the joy of being spectacularly, undeniably wrong.